Hello, good morning. So last time we studied about the voltage divider bias method. So in which the voltage divider bias name is given by the arrangement of R1 and R2. So this R1 and R2 are connected in series and voltage across R2 is used to bias the base of the transistor. So the name given because of this arrangement. So voltage across this R2, that is VB, which is connected to base, is given by the formula VB equal to R2 upon R1 plus R2 into VCC. Okay. So then RC is used for the load. If RC is connected, so that's why voltage, output voltage generated at the collector, otherwise it is not possible. So then next component is RE. So RE is used for the DC stabilization. So we have the DC stabilization is achieved with this action. So as temperature increases, collector current increases. You know that because semiconductor has a property that as temperature increases, the current flow also increases. So that's why as temperature increases, collector current of this transistor increases. So IE increases emitter current because IC is approximately equal to IE. As IE increases, the voltage across RE gets increased. Okay, so the VE increases. As VE increases, this VBE drops. So why VBE drops? That is because of this, with this equation. So VB equal to VBE plus VE. So where VB is fixed, so therefore VBE plus VE, this addition is also fixed. So that's why as VE increases, obviously the VBE drops. Okay, so as VBE drops means its base to emitter forward bias decreases. As base to emitter forward bias decreases means IB decreases, IC decreases. As IC decreases, so it means the Q point is again stabilized. So whatever the increase in collector currents is compensated with this action, and collector current here decreases or stabilized. So here make this collector current constant again. Okay. So as IB decreases, IC also decreases because IC is equal to alpha times IB. So this RE is used for DC stabilization, but its drawback is it generates a negative feedback for AC voltage. Okay, drawback is it generates a negative feedback for AC voltage. So as it develops the DC voltage as well as it develops the AC voltage, and because of the AC voltage it decreases the AC base to emitter voltage. So that's why as the base to emitter voltage decreases, IB decreases, IC decreases. Okay, so it generates a negative feedback. So just you keep in mind that a drawback of this RE is it generates a negative feedback for AC, and as negative feedback generates, that's mean output voltage decreases. What is the main disadvantage of this negative feedback? The output voltage decreases, gain of the amplifier decreases. So that's why we use this capacitor which is connected across the RE. So we know that capacitor passes AC and blocks the DC. So this is the most important statement about the capacitor. So capacitor passes AC and blocks the DC. So whatever, because of this capacitor C connected across the RE, whatever AC voltage drop across the RE is grounded by the capacitor C. Okay, so as AC voltage is grounded, we avoid the negative feedback for the AC. Okay, so we avoid the negative feedback for the AC by connecting the CE across the RE. Okay, so this is the main use. So this is just little bit complicated of these two uses, but once you understand it, it will be very easy to represent. So this RE is used for DC stabilization. How it gets stabilization, it is explained with this. And a drawback of RE is it generates the negative feedback. So because of the negative feedback, it reduces the output voltage. Okay, so to avoid this negative feedback, CE is used, which is connected across the RE, which grounds the AC because capacitor passes AC. Okay, ground the AC so it avoids the negative feedback. Okay, so here CE is used to bypass AC or grounds the AC voltage across RE, and it is avoided a negative feedback. Okay, so this is the main use of the CE. So these coupling capacitors CC1 and CC2 are used here to couple only AC. Okay, so last one is the coupling capacitors. So coupling capacitors are only couples AC and blocks DC from VCC. Okay, so this is the main use of this. So it blocks the coupling capacitors CC1 and CC2, blocks the DC which is coming from this capacitor. So whatever the DC current is blocked here to enter into the source, and the current coming from VCC is blocked here to enter at the output. So only whatever the AC is amplified at the collector is coupled to the output, and whatever the AC which is applied to the input is only coupled to the input of the amplifier. So this is the use of coupling capacitors. So only couples the AC. So this is the main use of this coupling capacitors. Okay, so the most important purpose of this biasing circuit is to keep the Q point, that is operating point of a transistor, at the center of the DC load line. So we know that. So this is the characteristic curves for the transistor. So this is the characteristic curve for different values of IB. Okay, so we draw a DC load line. Okay, we draw a DC load line. So it is A point here, it is B point. Okay, so the Q point should be at the center of the DC load line. Okay, so what do you mean by Q point? So Q point is nothing but the voltage across the transistor, that is VCEQ, and collector current flowing through the transistor, we note that ICQ. So ICQ is the current flowing through the transistor, and VCEQ is the voltage across the transistor. So this gives the coordinates of this Q point, XY coordinate VCEQ, ICQ. So these are the coordinates of this Q point. So the Q point is at the center. It means VC is this is the VC and this is the IC. Okay, so we are going to see the one example based on this. So main purpose of this biasing is to maintain a Q point at the center of the DC load line, so which is done with this RE action. Okay, so Q makes it Q point stabilize. So here is the Q point. Now we are going to see the one example how we are going to find the Q point and DC load line. So just to see one example. Okay, now consider this example in which the values are given. R1 is 12K, R2 is 4K, RC is 1K, RE is 2K, and VCC equal to 18 volts. So these values are given for the circuit, and now we are going to find out the Q point position and the coordinates of a DC load line. Okay, the two things we are going to find out here: the coordinates of DC load line and coordinates of Q point. Okay, so we are going to find these two values. Okay, so for that purpose we require these equations. So this is the equation for the output voltage. So this is the equation for the output voltage. So output voltage means this is for output side. Okay, so this is the equation for output loop. We are going to say that output loop means this is the output side, and total VCC equal to voltage across RC plus voltage across this transistor plus voltage across RE. Okay, so this is VCC equal to ICRC plus VC plus VRE. So therefore VCC equal to IC dot RC plus VCE plus IRE. So IC and IE both are equal, approximately equal. So you are right here IC into bracket RC plus RE plus VCC. So to find out the coordinates of the DC load line, okay, to find the coordinate of the DC load line, we use this equation. VCC equal to IC into bracket RC plus RE plus VCE. Okay, so to consider this DC load line IC versus VCE, so we are going to find out the coordinates of these 2 points A and B. Okay, we are going to find out the coordinates of these 2 points A and B. Consider for this A point, so we very well know that this is the mathematical term. We very well know that the points on y-axis having x coordinate 0. Okay, so points on a y-axis having x coordinate 0, and similarly the points on x-axis having y coordinate 0. That means B having y coordinate 0. So just we know that, so y coordinate is 0, and here for this A point x coordinate is 0. So now we are going to find out this place value and this value by using this equation. Just you have to put this condition here. Okay, so this is a saturation condition. So we know that this is a saturation condition and this is a cutoff condition of a transistor. Okay, so just we are going to find out in saturation, so this coordinate is 0. Okay, so therefore we use here in saturation VCE equal to 0. Okay, so this coordinate x coordinate is 0 for the A point. Okay, so use this in the equation. Okay, so we get VCC equal to IC into bracket RC plus RE plus 0. So therefore we get IC equal to VCC by RC plus RE. Okay, so we get this. Now the coordinates of A point is 0, VCC by RC plus RE. Okay, so now put the values. VCC is 18 volt, RC plus RE, value of RC is 1K and RE is 2K, so we get 3K. Okay, so we get here 6. 10K is 10 raised to 3. When it goes into numerator, it becomes 10 raised to minus 3. So 10 raised to minus means you are right, milliampere. Okay, so the coordinate for A is 0, 6 milliampere. Okay, now when transistor, for now we are going to find out the coordinates of B. when transistor in cutoff. Okay, now when transistor is in cutoff, so that means y coordinates are 0. Y coordinate means IC equal to 0 ampere. For current is in ampere. So y coordinate, okay, for this y coordinate is 0. So just we use IC in this equation. So we get VCC equal to VCE. Okay, so this is the coordinate of this B. So we get coordinate of B is VCC comma 0. So that is VCC is here 18 volt comma 0 ampere. You can write ampere unit. So this is the coordinate of B. So here it is 18 volt comma 0 and here 0 comma 6 milliampere. So these are the coordinates of A and B. So then simply you join this line on this characteristic curves. Okay, so first we are solved here coordinates of DC load line. Second thing is coordinate of a tube point. So this is a little bit difficult, but just when we go step by step, then it will be easy. So just find the coordinate of, so this is the second one. Okay, so how we are going to find the coordinates? So that for that purpose we require this equation. So first we are going to find out the VB. Okay, then okay, let us see here. So just we are going to find, by using this equation we are going to find the VB. So here VB equal to R2 divided by R1 plus R2 into VCC. Okay, so VB R2 value is given, R2 is here, R2 is 4K and R1 is 20K. So 4K divided by 12K plus 4K into VCC is 18 volt. Okay, 4K, okay, 4K plus 12K. Okay, so we get here 4K divided by 16K into 18 volt. Okay, into 18 volt. If we solve this, so K get cancelled. So here is 4K, so K get cancelled. So whatever the result is in voltage. If we solve this, we get VB equal to 4.5 volt. Okay, so we just find out the VB. Okay, first we find out the value of this VB. Now we are going to find out the voltage across the RE, that is VE, and by using this formula we can find out this. Okay, so now use this formula here. So what was that formula? So VB equal to VBE plus V. So here VB equal to VBE means base to emitter voltage drop plus emitter voltage drop, emitter to ground, VBE plus V. So we can find out this here. So here VBE, what is VBE? When base to emitter junction, so we are arranging this circuit so that base to emitter junction gets forward bias. So here as the junction, PN junction gets forward bias, then we have the value 0.7 volt. Okay, when base to emitter junction gets forward bias, we have the VBE, that is 0.7 volt plus VE. So VB is 4.5 volt. So by using this we can easily find out the VE voltage. So VE equal to, we get 3.8 volt. Okay, so first we find out the base voltage. By using that we find here the VE. So if we find out VE, we can easily find out the IE. Okay, how we are going to find the R? Because we know the value of RE, we know the voltage across VE. So by using Ohm's law, okay, VE equal to IE into RE. Okay, so VE is 3.8 volt. We are going to find out IE into RE. Value of RE is 2K, 2 kilo ohm. So therefore IE equal to 3.8 divided by 2 kilo ohm. Okay, so this is in volt. So V by R is nothing but a current, that is unit is ampere. So if we find out this, we get 1.9. so K here is the 10 raised to, K means 10 raised to 3. When it goes into numerator, it becomes 10 raised to minus 3. So we write here milliampere. Okay, so K means 10 raised to 3. Okay, it is in denominator. When it goes into numerator, it becomes 10 raised to minus 3, and 10 raised to minus 3 means this milliampere. Okay, it is 1.9 milliampere. So we find here IE, value of IE, and we know that IE is approximately equal to IC. So we can use IC also, that is equal to 1.9 milliampere. So this 1.9 milliampere is nothing but, okay, so look at here. So IC we find by using this, we find here this IVB and VB, then IE, then IC here. I is approximately equal to IC. So this IC is the current flowing through the transistor, okay, when no input voltage is applied. So AC is 0. In that case, the collector current flowing through the transistor IC is 1.9 milliampere. So this is nothing but ICQ. Okay, that is 1.9 milliampere. So now we are going to find out the VCEQ. Okay, so Q means just we find here ICQ. Now we are going to find out VCEQ. So just you have to use this value in this is most important equation. So we are going to use this IC in this equation. Okay, so where is that equation? So this equation. Okay, so we have to use the value of IC. So by using this, we get VCC equal to IC into bracket RC plus RE plus VCE. So this is VCEQ. Okay, so this is VCEQ. If you are using IC here, ICQ. Okay, so the VCC is 18 volt, IC is 1.9 milliampere. Okay, so RC plus RE. So RC plus RE. So here RC is 1K, RE is 2K. So RC plus RE is 3K. You have to write the unit also. Okay, 3K plus VCEQ. So here K is 10 raised to plus 3 and milli is 10 raised to minus 3. So this 10 raised to minus 3 and 10 raised to 3 so get cancels each other. Okay, so this K and milli get cancels each other. So now it becomes 1.9 into 3 milliampere. Okay, so 1.9 into 3 milliampere, and this is VCE. Okay, so it becomes 1.9 into 3, it becomes 5.7. so I into R is nothing but a voltage plus VCEQ, and it is 18 volts. So therefore VCEQ equal to 18 volt minus 5.7 volt. So we get the answer here is 12.3 volt. Okay, so this is the VCEQ and this is ICQ. Okay, so this is a coordinate of Q point, where Q point is at the center. Okay, so the current is, so it is not at the center, it is just little bit lower, because current is 1.9 milliampere. Because it is 6 milliampere, the current should be middle is 3 milliampere, but it is not 3 milliampere, it is a 9 milliampere. It is not at the center, it is just little bit below the center. So here the VCEQ is 12.3. so here is 12.3 volt. So Q point of this is coordinates having 12.3 volt comma 1.9 milliampere. Okay, so this is 1.9 milliampere, 12.3 volt comma 1.9 milliampere. So this is the coordinate of the Q. So this is the problem. So simple problem, but you have to remember on these steps. So this is the most important equation by using to how we are going to find out the coordinate of DC load line. So we consider these two conditions, in saturation and in cutoff. When it is saturation, x coordinate is 0. When it is in cutoff, y coordinate is 0. So just you are using that coordinates 0 in this equation. So we get the A with this coordinate and B in cutoff with this coordinate. So if you find the coordinate, then draw a DC load line. Then this is just, first we are going to find out the VB by using potential. So this is known as potential divider formula. So by using this formula, then use this one. Okay, so using this equation, input VB equal to VB plus VE is shown here. VB equal to VB plus VE. Okay, so that is 3.8 volt. So VE equal to IE into RE. Just we find the IE. IE is nothing but IC. So it is ICQ. And by using this last output equation, just we have to put here ICQ. We get a VCEQ. So this is the coordinate of Q point. So this is the lengthy problem, but interesting problem. Just you have to practice it for once or twice, so you can easily understand. It may ask for 4 volt. Sorry. It may ask for 4 marks in the exam. Okay, so let us stop here. Be practicing of this. Okay.